I gave in to the lesser version of me. Okay, so we're gonna go all the way back to when I was 14 years old. I got my first job working as an assistant in a church. It was a summer gig. I worked it alongside my god brother at the time, and we was kids. Back in the day, 14-year-olds in the 90s were not the same 14-year-olds you see today. We were actual kids. We ran around and played kickball and handball. We was always outside running, playing all the things. That's what we did, right? And if we could make a little money on the side just so we could feel like we've achieved something, then that's what we did. As I was working this job, an assistant, right? I was put in a position amongst older teenagers who were between 17 and 19 years old. I'm 14, male, they were. And I had no clue, no concept, no perspective, no lens, no anything to navigate what I was walking into. Did I think they were cute and all that? Yeah, sure. But it was very innocent, very childlike. That being said, we end up in this back room that was a part of the church that had a lot of fitness equipment in there. And I find myself wanting to do this push-up. Like there's a machine that allows you to like do these push-ups on, right? So I see them doing the push-ups, like, oh, I could try that. And I'm thinking, okay, they're just kind of showing me how to do something. So I get up there and I start pushing myself up. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can do it. And then the older teenager, who was about 19 at the time, comes up behind me, acting as if he wanted to spot me, which I didn't know what that was either. And he's allowing the backside of my body to rub up against the front side of his. And I am unaware of what's really going on, but all of a sudden it's starting to dawn on me that I don't feel comfortable. And I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. I think I'm going to stop. It did not progress beyond that. But I remember leaving that fitness space thinking to myself, why did I feel so uncomfortable? What was that? And literally being confused. Now, because I've always been 5'9", 5'10", since I hit about 13, I always looked older in my age. I never played it up. I wasn't one of those fast kids, as they claim, trying to say, oh, I'm lying about my age. Everybody knew I was 14. My mother still did my hair. So she still put pigtails in me and my sister's head and put bows on them every time I went to church. So I was a real 14-year-old, okay? But I remember leaving that space just feeling violated, really. Didn't have the language to say it, but just feeling very uncomfortable and violated, right? Now, why does this tie into identity? This is extremely important for parents to teach their children, but to also have for themselves. When you understand who you are, you have a level of confidence and security in yourself to stand up for yourself, to advocate for yourself when there's no one older to advocate for you. That's kind of where it starts. But then when you have a healthy identity of yourself, a healthy understanding of who God has called you to be, there's just certain things that people won't even try on you because they know you ain't the one. And I hope you guys are following me. I was very loud as a teenager. I had a lot of attitude. And a lot of people would call it, oh, you fresh, you sassy. I was labeled all of these things. But I don't remember a time where somebody called me what God called me. Now, I don't want that to sound horrible, but I'm going to just say what I need to say. I just want you to understand. That is a moment in time, a snapshot in time that I remember. I lacked so much identity in who I was that I was in a position that I almost did not know how to get out of. The reason why this experience ties into identity is because, especially now, our teenagers have so much access to things that those of us who are 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s babies did not have access to. And if your child doesn't understand who they are, if they don't have a high regard for themselves and have security in themselves, they will make decisions, even in the tiniest ways, that set them up to be taken advantage of, to be in positions that they never thought they would be in. I was an ignorant, very gullible child, okay? And even though I presented this sassy attitude like persona, that was only thing I knew how to do in order to try to keep myself protected and safe. I tell people all the time, I strongly dislike when I hear adults judging children so harshly, because a child is only doing what children know how to do or what they've been taught to do. Okay? They're not old enough to decipher between what's acceptable, what's mature, what's not, right? They still have a childlike mind. Now let's apply this to adulthood. Even as adults, if you don't find your identity as a child, meaning your parents, the people around you are the ones that feed all that God calls you to be. So if you don't gain that as a child, that means you have to figure it out when you become an adult. Well, there's so many adults right now operating and walking and behaving, looking like adults, but they are bruised, battered, injured children, not knowing who they really are. So when I say you have to understand your identity, it's because out of your identity flows your mindset. Out of your mindset connects to your behavior, your decisions, your patterns, your habits, and the things that you will or won't tolerate. You have to have a clear understanding of who God has called you to be. I said this in the video that I posted on YouTube. We are heirs with Christ. But if you don't know that, and if you don't believe that, you will truly act and behave like a peasant. I hope I was clear in this video. I love you guys.
I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me, but